Hi, I'm Wayne Bates. I'm with Ty & Bond and a facilitator with the AIM Sustainability Roundtable. We're here today with Matt Bannister of People's Bank, who's been awarded a 2016 Sustainability Award from AIM. Welcome, Matt.
Thank you.
Matt, maybe you could tell us a little bit about People's Bank and your role with People's Bank?
Yep. People's Bank is the largest mutual community bank in Western Massachusetts. We're headquartered in the Pioneer Valley. We have 17 branches pretty much up and down the Connecticut River, up and down Route 91. My role there is Vice President of Corporate Responsibility, and so I manage our grants to the community, and included in that are our efforts around sustainability and the environment.
And what are some of those grants issued for? What types of projects and what level of grant?
Yep. So there's probably, I'd split it into two areas. One is for the consumer, for the retailer, for the average resident. We want to focus on green values and sustainable energy. It's a healthy way to live. It's the right way to live, I think. And so things that we can do to support groups. For instance, CISA. CISA is communities involved in sustainable agriculture. They're collections of local farmers, and so they're very interested in the right economic environment for them to be able to grow their food and also for them to be able to have a market for their food locally. And so buy local, local food, fork to table, if you will. So efforts there. We do a lot of e-recycling events at our branches, and so during the year you can come in and bring your used computers and monitors and televisions and things that you don't quite know what to do with, except you can't throw them in the trash. We'll open up our branches and host e-recycling events. On Earth Day, we have celebrations where we give out plants to our customers and our non-customers, tomato plants, flowers, etc. So that's the individual side. On the commercial side, we've developed a specialty in sustainable financing, so wind, solar, hydro. As organizations look to generate energy, there are a lot of complicated state and federal tax credits and regulations that go along with that, and People's Bank has developed a specialty to allow energy producers to be able to navigate the Byzantine financial system in order to most cost effectively put up hydroelectric or wind energy.
And how long have some of these programs been in place? How did People's Bank get into some of these programs, and what do you see the future of?
People's Bank is 131 years old. We originally started in Holyoke. Holyoke is an old mill town and has a lot of canals that run through the city. When it was a mill town, they were obviously very important for their survival as a mill town. Now, they're a great resource for hydroelectric energy, and so we worked with the city of Holyoke probably about 7 to 10 years ago when they had a need to generate more sustainable, renewable energy. We helped them figure out how to effectively turn those hydro turbines into ways to generate power for the city itself. And I think that was really our first step into the creative financing that's involved with hydroelectric energy. Very beneficial to Holyoke as a mill town. They're really looking for ways to be economically vital for the area, and certainly a cheaper, cleaner, and more renewable and more reliable source of energy is one of the foundational steps that helps the community.
Do you have, what types of programs do you have for employees, like internal engagement?
Yep, so employee engagement, very important to People's Bank. We've been recognized by the Boston Globe as the best place to work for 4 years in a row now. We have committees of employees that take on various causes during the year. We have an environmental committee. They're very concerned with everything from how much waste are we producing at the bank, so things like reusable coffee cups as opposed to disposable coffee cups, small things that add up to make a difference. We participate in employee volunteer events. We average about 6,000 volunteer hours for the bank, and that's only 270 employees that are at People's Bank. About 6,000 hours a year. Some of the efforts we undertake, Source to Sea cleanup, which is cleaning up the shores of the Connecticut River, so the employees will will turn out en masse. Actually, it's the week after next, and so help to contribute to the beautification of the environment where we're at. We'll also work closely with the United Way on their Volunteer Day of Caring, which often also has to do with sort of cleaning up the environment and making us a better place to live.
And how does People's Bank communicate these different types of initiatives internally, but also externally? What forms of communication do you use?
So a community bank is really only as strong as the communities that it serves. And so the economic vitality of the city is very important to us, of the region. And we want to make sure people know that we are part of the region, we stand for the region, we want to help the region grow. And so we use traditional and non-traditional forms of communication to get the word out. Some of it is social media, and certainly everyone is Facebooking and tweeting and blogging and posting, and so we are engaging with our customers to let them know what we're doing in those areas. And then there's, you will notice in our television ads or in our print ads, you'll notice a strong emphasis on the environment and sustainability and our issue there. So a lot of the visuals that we use, whether we're being explicit or not, really support that green value of the bank as well. The biggest way is probably food of mouth, or food of mouth. The biggest way is probably word of mouth, and it's surprising how much the reputation of an industry can grow or shrink depending upon how the residents of the area, and particularly the customers of the bank, feel about it. We're often very surprised to find customers and non-customers of the bank understand our core values, of which sustainability and the environment is one, and sort of reflect them back to us in conversation. So I hear People's Bank is a great place to work. I hear People's Bank does great things for the community. And when you hear that sort of feedback being reflected back to you, you know it's permeated. So it's not just us saying it about ourselves, it's the community saying it about us, and that's certainly much more effective and impactful.
Are any of your investors or larger customers asking you to report any of your metrics or any of your initiatives in sustainability?
Well, we do report out to bank examiners, bank regulators on a periodic basis about what we're doing to support the communities that we work in. We do promote on our website. We have a community section where we talk about the groups that we support and the activities that the bank undertakes. But we're really doing it to do the right thing, not so much to pat ourselves on the back or put ourselves on a pedestal. And so we do report it as a matter of course. We don't necessarily report it to aggrandize ourselves, to make ourselves look good. And so it's part of what we talk about, what we do. It's a core value for the bank, and hopefully if you see us in public or you interact with us, you'll feel those core values come through.
So what are some of the things over the past 10, 20 years and looking forward into the next 10, 20 years related to sustainability that has changed in the banking industry? So, 20 years ago, I imagine this wasn't these aspects of sustainability weren't ingrained in your corporate culture. And how did they get there, and where do you see them going?
Well, that's a great question. So for the banking industry, ironically, one of the things that probably has helped the banking industry as a whole be greener and more sustainable is the advent of mobile banking and being able to do a lot of bank functions from your phone, which cuts down on a lot of trips to the bank and a lot of mileage. And so that's really cut across the whole industry, and that's more of a societal trend. For us in particular, we've started to construct our branches in a very environmentally friendly way. And so we have LEED certified branches, and LEED is the organization that certifies buildings as being green and at a certain level of sustainability, and we have pioneered the way for banks in Western Massachusetts to build these LEED branches. We have 3 of them, and what we found is other regional banks and even other national banks have started to construct their branches in ways that are more environmentally friendly. And out of that, as often happens, out of that has come a business advantage for us for being known for our LEED branches, but also the construction of the branch itself. It starts to free you up from how a bank might traditionally structure with teller lines and much more of an open space, A lot of light, natural light, because of large glass windows, and construction elements that help you be more sustainable are also construction elements that allow you to build an environment that's much more friendly and conducive to a relationship as opposed to a transaction. And so it's chicken and the egg. I'm not sure which led which, but we found branch design has evolved to be much more consumer friendly, and really it was the lead construction that sort of started us down that road.
Interesting. Well, Matt, I appreciate you joining us
Yep.
today, and congratulations on your Sustainability Award in 2016, and we look forward to the awards event.
Thank you, and thank you very much to AIM as well for recognizing us, and appreciate all the great work you do in our state and in our communities.